We're so driven by achievements, by accomplishments, but like there is this aspect that God cares so much more about us.
I've dealt a lot with that, and whether it's actual age and maturity and season of life that I'm sure is very common. It doesn't mean so wrong. I think of so many women, even young moms, young wives, and as we mature and grow, we're really trying to figure out who we are and where we fit, and there's these narratives all around us that we're supposed to be at this place, or we're supposed to look like this person, or we need to arrive at some point. And I think for me, even as I am, at the stage that I am right now, there's this settling in of, God, where do you want me? Where do you want me to be? Where do you want my focus to be? And just truly allowing all of that other stuff to fall away. And I'll say that doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen without intentionality. You don't just get to a point where you're like, oh, okay, none of that matters and I'm chosen, and like it all goes away. It takes intentionality to remind yourself, God, who do you say I am? And where do you want my focus to be? And continually remind myself that I have the freedom in Christ to lay down all of those other pressures that are around me that want to steal my attention.
I mentioned this to you the other day where I hate losing more than I like winning. And I'm certain there's some counseling that I need in that area. But like as a church planter, there's a clock. And the clock is we've raised all this money and we have to figure out how to, in the midst of all the meaningful stuff, helping people come to know Christ, helping people legitimately grow and mature, counsel people through marriage difficulties, parenting troubles, the loss of a job. I mean, there's just so many, those things are way more important. But at the same time, if like as a church plant, you have a certain amount of time to become self-sustaining. So the tension between how do you stay focused on what's most meaningful and how do you function and live within your identity in Christ and still manage the tension, like the real tensions of the clock, of the we have to wake up really early to set up and stay late to tear down, all those things. Those are real tensions. So it's not easy. It really isn't easy. It's stressful. It's almost week to week where I have to manage that. To show up on a Sunday, to love God and to love people beyond anything we're trying to accomplish in regards to numerics.
When you're in that age of the young adult age, like it's hard. I think this is probably one of the hardest things because it's so like, you're trying to set up for your success or you're trying to set up for college and you're not going to college to fail. Like you're going to school to be successful. You're trying to apply yourself. So I would imagine.
Um, the clearest moment in my life where I was searching for identity was when I was in 7th grade. And I was an athlete. I was one of the better athletes in my class. But then I also had friends who were like skaters. So I adopted skateboarding as a hobby. And then I also had some opportunities to participate in extracurricular activities like drugs. And I was trying to figure out like, who am I? And I just remember that was one of the most uncomfortable seasons of my life. Um, I think the question of identity, who am I, is one of the most important questions we need to answer. And I don't think everyone is consciously asking that question, even though we're, it's working itself out in our life. Like I didn't know that when I was wearing baggy pants and, big old shoes, I was trying on this identity. I just thought I was trying to be cool like my skater friends. Um, but you know, even in high school and young adult age, and even into my adult years, uh, trying to gain approval from others has been a way that I've, you know, identity is one way to understand your value. And so I wonder if, you know, these other false identities is a way in which I'm trying to gain value.
You know, being in my early 30s and my job ending and
Yeah.
not having a relationship and all these things that were benchmarks. I went through that in high school. I experienced extreme illness in my senior year of high school. And all of a sudden, all the things that I felt were a part of who I was,
Yeah.
I was bedridden and not able to do. And so I've had seasons in my life where that's like totally, you know, that's gone. So then
Yeah.
who are you?
Yeah. What's left?
What's left? And I was reading a book on worship recently, and it just had this beautiful picture that put language, I think, to what I experienced in those seasons. It was like you were created, like Jesus went to the cross, you were created for relationship, and that's the only thing you were made for. So if you get that right, nothing else matters. And I was like, that is so completely true, because we, you know, we want to achieve this or achieve that. It's like, man, if I could just be really good at loving on Jesus, that's what I'm going to do for eternity. And all this other stuff, like, do I want to do my best? Do I want to obey the Lord? Do I want to steward what he's given me 100%? That's not a pass for laziness, but it's the awareness that that's not what I'm here for. You know, and if I can experience God every day and I can bring other people in to experience God every day, then I've done it. Then I've got it.
Good.
I think another piece of that too, that you alluded to kind of right there in the middle, like get to know yourself, get to know the way that God created you, whether it's your strengths and your personality and your spiritual gifts and the things that you're passionate about and all of that, and allow that to be part of your journey and invite Jesus to take you along. How did you create me? And not have it be such a pressurized, I have to be in this role and all of these things, but like, where do you have me right now? And get to know how I function and how you created me, and go along with him on that, you know?
It's really good.
And I love how you said, I'm just meant to love on Jesus,
Yeah.
you know? And like, if you do that and you bring your kiddos, your husband, your friends along on that journey, you know, you're doing the thing, you know? Yeah, that's really beautifully said.
Thank you for watching and listening to Not Just Sunday. Please like and subscribe, and we hope that you experience God every day.
Not just Sunday.